By popular demand and the request of you, the audience, we present to you tonight, me and the Hammer, Godfather of Harlem, season 4, ladies and gentlemen, episode 1 review. One of the best slept on TV shows in all the world because it's on the network that y'all not familiar with, but it's time to get right now. And we're going to break it down. The show starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's going on, everybody? You in the building. The all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful LAMONT TYSON. And look who we got joining me today. It's a Hammer. And I'm not talking about MC. What's up, Hammer? Uh-oh. Well, I had a Hammer. Hammer, if you can hear me, say something. We'll come back to the Hammer in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are very grateful you are here. This is a great show with some good historical dialogue and some really, really good insights as to what it was like being a Black person back in the civil rights era. And make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, that struggle is still going on today. I know some of y'all feel it. I know how y'all feel about what's going on. And we're going to deep dive into what was going on with Bumpy Johnson as he was making his way through the roles. And this season decided he's done with the drug game. No more of that. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Definitely need you guys to do that. And while you're at it, go to my Shop LifeGains store. And for my folks who know that not being woke got these MAGA asses broke, please go buy like 30 of them bitches because, folks, we need it. And I do have political content that you can catch on my channel. I got my TikTok, Politics of Being Black, TikTok. And I also have my Politics of Being Black Instagram. Would love for you all to go join me. Link is in description. Folks, they are deporting American citizens. Folks who've been here, were born here. They are deporting them at the borders. Long story, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow, but you guys have got to resist. You have got to fight back. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. So we start this episode off with Bumpy Johnson's daughter. She's in court along with Mrs. Shabazz trying to figure out just exactly who did in her husband. Because if y'all followed the show last season, you know they got Malcolm. And Malcolm was a great inspiration to Bumpy Johnson. And throughout this saga with the daughter, the courtroom, and her old boo thing that hated Malcolm at first, and then it was a big debate last season. Was he helping Malcolm or was he against Malcolm? Well, this is what we do know. We do know that she, Bumpy Johnson's daughter, had a lot of feelings for Malcolm. And then she started liking old boy too. And ladies and gentlemen, pull this down because I think we got the Hammer. We got you now, Hammer. Can you hear us, Hammer? Okay, well, we're still having a little bit of technical difficulties with the Hammer. We'll get back to her in a minute. So Bumpy Johnson's daughter goes to her old boo thing and is like, look, you didn't do this. You changed. I'm going to try to get you up out of here. Long story short, ladies and gentlemen, what did white men love back in the 60s and still love it now? Black on black crime. KRS-One talked about it very succinctly in Black Cop, hip hop song from the early 90s. Go check it out. White people love being able to say black folks harmed themselves. So of course they was going to rig this courtroom to make it look like all the black people did in Malcolm. Now, granted, we know this true story, but we do know that there were some conspirators that ain't seen no justice. Let's talk about the FBI. Let's see if we got Moochie this time. Moochie, we got you?
Oh, yeah, you got me now. Sorry about that.
All
I
good.
don't know what's going on. It's every time I try to go in on my laptop, so I'm doing it this way.
All good. Well, we got Moochie, and Moochie, I was just dropping a dime to the people about Bumpy Johnson's daughter trying to get some justice for Malcolm and her old boo thing. And turns out nobody gets what they want because her boo thing got thrown in jail, max sentence. What is going to come of Bumpy Johnson's daughter as of this point, Moochie?
Did you see how she was looking at them Black Panthers? Like this is something I want to be involved with.
Well, look at her.
So look
Look
at
at this
her.
pit.
Look, she
Look at her.
done turned a
Yeah.
new leaf.
Yep, she done let the hair out, got rid of that perm, got on the glasses, got on the black coat. She wants justice. And can you blame her?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about two men that she had feelings for, basically both got done in all at the same time. And
Exactly.
so, Sister is going to be on a crusade this season. And let's not forget about she's got a daughter and she's got Bumpy Johnson's wife. By the way, shout out to the casting. This is a beautiful cast of people, beautiful cast of us, ladies and gentlemen. And you see, this is before she go Black Panther. She's marching in the streets for justice. And apparently that justice wasn't working, Moochie. So she decides she needs some street justice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Post
I
your
want.
comments
I
on
want
her.
to see how she gets how close she gets in with the Black Panthers.
Well, she's gonna get in there. She's a go getter. You know, ever since she's reformed herself and cleaned up from the drug abuse, she has been a go getter. She gets stuff done. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. I believe it's gonna be something. And ladies and gentlemen, before we finish this thought, I wanted to show you guys a little trailer, some things that happened this particular episode that are of particular notice. Okay, y'all know who want to say hello. Some of y'all come here just for her. Come on, L. Hurry up. Okay. Say hi.
Hi, Elle.
Say hi.
Hi, Moochie.
Hi. How are you?
That's the camera, L.
Hi, Moochie.
Hi. Hi.
Hi,
How you?
Moochie.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
You behaving?
Mm-hmm.
So you getting ready to go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
You and your brother gonna listen to your father and lay down and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a good night, love.
Okay.
All right.
Night.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, let us embrace a little bit of this trailer so that you can see what was of great context, and then we'll be right back.
I have a deal at Joe Colombo. I'm trying to build something for my people.
The new Harlem. My husband is becoming the man Malcolm inspired him to be.
I want a place where we can just be.
It's gonna be big. I want in. I'm not asking to be a partner. I'm telling you.
So that's when we get to Chin Gigante. He's at the spot that Bumpy got where he done kind of revamped his gambling joint. And they in there, having nice conversation. Everything's going well. We don't have no issues. Bumpy has decided that he's going to get out of this drug game. And Moochie, when you first saw Chin and you saw how cordial him and Bumpy were, what was you thinking at that moment?
I thought everything was gonna go fine. I
Yeah.
even thought when he came back that second time with the 60-40 split, he was gonna give in because he knows that he can't do it without them without that money. So I thought he was gonna give in, but he tired of sharing stuff with them. And it's true. Every time he get a good idea, here they come wanting to be involved with it after he done did all the legwork. He making all these moves to get this loan and stuff. And Chin would have backed him, But to me, he still would eventually told, once they saw how they was making money before, what happened? They got involved in it, or the two sides couldn't get along enough.
Hmm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Moochie makes a great point. Is that not the problem we have here in America with fucking capitalism? All the people are doing all the work while somebody sits up here and dictates and gets all the fruits of the hard work of the people below. You see, one thing that the government knows, a Republican president once said, we can't give the people nothing because they'll like it. Well, fuck yeah, we pay taxes, right? Well, now we got a situation here where Chin is basically trying to tax Bumpy. But we'll get back to that in a minute. The real problem that they have immediately, Moochie, is this MF right here, Joe Colombo. Somehow or another, after they pulled the caper on him, his butt done got out of jail, Moochie. He got out of jail. He goes and meets the families, and he threatens Chin right to his face. Moochie, tell me about that meeting when he met the families and he threatened Chin to his face. Uh-oh. I think we lost the Mooch. Did we lose the Mooch? We lost the Mooch. Okay. So what happened? Okay, go ahead. Talk about when Joe Colombo met the families and he threatened Chin right to his face in front of the other bosses.
I was surprised they laid low and didn't try to intervene with that. I think they're gonna let him have a run at him. I think he's gonna come back to them for a sit down and try to have a run at him, but it's not gonna work out for him.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Joe. Joe's got a hard on for Chin and Bumpy Johnson. And basically, Chin told him, you are not to touch Bumpy Johnson. He's under my protection. Now, Moochie, you know, this dude, he is as racist as the guy in the White House, probably even more so. He ain't trying to hear that. And folks, there's one thing I do know about people who are miserable and racist. They would rather suffer and be hungry next to you while you suffering than to be next to you while y'all thriving. Because if you thriving even an inch, they feel like they must be thriving 10 inches. And this is another case of that. This guy's not happy Bumpy is doing his thing. He's not happy. And he's not happy he's got the support of one of the bosses in the family. But here's the thing, Moochie, those other bosses know how much of a hothead Joe is. Look at what he tried to do. And so the thing is, who do you think that the families are going to support? Are they going to support Joe or are they going to support Chin?
I think they're going to support Chin for now because he's bringing in the bulk of the money because they gave him Harlem. That's why they basically let him know he was going to blackball him the moment he got out.
Exactly.
You got to look at it like this too. Keep in mind, he sent somebody to try to take him out.
You jumping to get off the horse, Moochie.
No, this was last season.
Oh, you talking about last season? Oh, yeah.
Last season he sent somebody to take Chin out.
Well, he did that last season, and ladies and gentlemen, he did it again. But let's talk about the connecting glue between Chin and Joe, and that's this thing right here, Stella, played by Lucy Fry. Yeah, buddy. She has decided she wants to be living more than the high life she's currently living, Moochie. So she decides to become a broker, get in between Joe and the daddy, gets a meeting set up, and on the way to the meeting, Joe tried to kill the daddy.
Exactly.
and what was so funny was when she get in here, Stella, ladies and gentlemen, is smart. Okay, she's smarter than 3 foxes in a hen house. She ain't no dummy, but I think she's playing with fire. And so Moochie, she gets in here, knowing that they was going to try to kill her daddy, tells him, Joe, kill me, and that'll really make my daddy mad. And Moochie, Joe couldn't do it. You know why?
Cause he in love with her.
Exactly. He is tantalized by the panty draws. And so now Stella wants to get a middleman deal. Moochie, tell me how's this middleman deal with Stella going to work out?
It's gonna work out. She gonna get some cheese off the top. Uh, and,
Mm,
and and she's already got her father wrapped around her finger like most little girls do. And he's gonna give in eventually, but I think she's doing it just like that. Like, this will be my thing, I will handle, because he don't want to deal with him because he don't trust him. Or at least that's what she's telling him.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, she doesn't trust him. She's been in the background dealing with powerful men, including her dad, in these families for years. She's seen how they behave. She know how the business work, and she knows that her daddy, under no circumstances, is going to kill her. And
Mm.
so, Moochie, what kind of ramifications is she going to have when Chin find out she's shaving off the top from the money that she's supposed to be brokering a deal for with Joe? And then, Moochie, do you even believe she's gonna tell the daddy that she's brokering the deal with Joe? Was that all a lie, or is she telling the truth?
She told him half truths. So we never saw what his response was. So is
Mm-hmm.
she working this whole thing herself?
Mm-hmm.
Did we get a foreshadowing moment when she put that hammer on the table and said, "This is why don't you take me out?" Are we gonna see that coming to fruition? Because when I saw that, I saw a foreshadowing moment.
Mm-hmm. I hope not, because as much as I can't stand
I
Stella, I
like
do
Stella.
I do love the character. I like her. I like pretty much everything about her, and I think that she is going to be the standout this season that a lot of people don't see coming. Now, Moochie, you remember she had a thing for some chocolate. You remember that?
Not
She
once,
had,
but twice.
yeah, she had a little sweet tooth. And now that she's matured, I think she's really going to use the power of her panty draws to manipulate these mofos. And it's going to probably be somebody else in one of the other families, Moochie, that's going to probably have to shut her down. That's what I think. Because Daddy ain't going to do it. Joe Colombo ain't going to do it. One of the other families is going to have to shut all this stuff down and trouble that she is about to get the families into. But I like the character, Moochie.
I
Really do.
do too, because the first season when she had that whole thing going on with Teddy, I didn't really care for her because we knew that Teddy was gonna be it was gonna be detrimental to him, their relationship. But as the seasons has gone on, she has grown on me, and I like the way she strategized everything last season, and we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing her work that brain this season too. Look, she
Mm-hmm.
finagled a trip last season to go to Italy.
Right. And Moochie, do you remember how much you remember how y'all gave it to me when I gave this actress and this character they flowers the first season? Y'all was all down my
Oh
throat.
yeah, the first
Oh,
season, yeah.
oh, Lamont Snow Bunny, blah, blah, blah. I'm a visionary. I seen it. I saw it. Now it's coming to fruition. But Moochie, you can't trust Stella. And her panty draws is so powerful. It done made Joe forget that she tried to kill him last. Well, he ain't forgot, but it's made him lower his guard down to the fact that she almost had you killed. He's sitting here trying to broker a deal with her.
That's because remember she made it look like she was gonna save him too.
Mm-hmm.
Cause
Mm-hmm.
when she told him that she told her father that he tried to touch her, and that's what
Right.
started the beef with them.
Well, he did.
I mean, but it wasn't like how she was saying it was.
Of
Like,
course not. Of
she
course
wanted
not.
it too.
I was about to say she invited the touching. That's
Mm-hmm.
what happened. She invited the touching. And so y'all let us know what you think about old stick 'em up Stella. That's gonna be her nickname because she is a mess. And I can't wait to see what kind of trouble she gets people into. Back to Bumpy. So Bumpy is trying to buy up all these apartments because he's going legit. He's through with the doji. He don't want to have nothing to do with that type of life no more. But he's got some problems, Moochie. He's got banking problems. And those banking problems that he's having is basically saying that in order for him to get this loan, he's gonna have to give up pretty much everything he owned. That's collateral, Moochie. Everything. And his first answer is no. And his second answer is he went to his banking board buddies. And Moochie, did you catch how they were scared of the razor blade he had on the table?
Well, you remember what happened to the last guy when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were sitting
yeah,
at that table like that? It
yeah.
didn't end well for him.
Well, that's Bumpy. How many deaths have we seen over the 4 seasons
With
where
that
Bumpy's like,
razor.
yeah, Bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he get them. And
Sure,
they
we
said
need to
they,
give a razor a doggone name.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
We're gonna call him Ramon for Razor Ramon.
yep. Razor Roughneck Ramon. That's what that razor name is going to be called because he roughed some necks up with that razor. And
Talk
so
about it.
they tell him that in order to get this property, he is gonna have to give up everything. And his first answer is no. And so, Moochie, what would you have done in this situation? Would you have even considered giving up all your other collateral for this big dream he has?
No, I feel like this is too risky. I feel like he's gonna end up having to go back into this drug game, and he could get jammed up and lose everything that way too. So it's just like this is like a catch-22 where damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's why when they said that, I actually thought he might have took the deal with Chin.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Chin, so we had a situation outside the area where Chance and Pettigrew saw some of those Italians selling doogie in their community.
Mm.
And they go tell Bumpy about it or what may have you. And then guess who comes out to take out the white dude that was actually he was actually working for? The white dude was working for Chin. And the white guy was talking all kinds of junk saying, yeah, yeah, I work for Chin. And then when Chin came out, dude thought he was going to be on their side, his side. And what did he do, Moochie?
Sure. Chin took him out himself. That was crazy.
Chin hammered this dude because of his love and admiration. When I say love people, I don't mean love like I love you like a brother. I mean, he's envious somewhat of how Bumpy Johnson moves because he's having to do this better than white guys. He's having to do this 3 or 4 times better than white guys because of the situation of the nation back then. And so he loves that admiration for Bumpy. And so he takes the dude out because Bumpy was able to help him put a plan together that put more money in his pocket than the families could ever do. And it took out Joe. And so now he kind of feel like I'm down with the blacks. Basically, I'm down with the crew to the point he killed one of his own guys, ladies and gentlemen. And so sometimes it seems like when Anglos back in this era and sometimes today, when they do things like that for you, when they go against their quote unquote own, they think they own you, is what they think. You feel me? They think they own you. And so they didn't own Bumpy. And to add further insult to injury, Moochie, Chance and Pettigrew got the doogie from the guy car that he was going to try to use to sell, and they bring it to Bumpy to say, Bumpy, why don't you use this money to get your properties? And what did Bumpy say, Moochie?
He was like, no. And they was ready to cut it up and everything and get it out there on the street. But he was like, no. I was surprised he did that. I thought it was like, he could have got away with all of this, got the money together and been on his way. But he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to prove that he's changed. And I think he's trying to prove that to Mamie. He don't want to go back down that road again.
Mamie, and he feels a debt to Malcolm because Malcolm tried to work on him about, poisoning the community when you've gotten to a point where you can do good work for the community. And I think that that's really touching something in Bumpy. But you know what, Moochie? Streets need a body. Streets be talking. Them streets. How much longer is he going to be able to withstand the stuff going on in the streets, Moochie? By what episode is he going to go back to street Bumpy?
So I think it's gonna be now, and now it looks like they're gonna be in a war with Chen again. Why are we visiting? Why are we going down this road again like this? Did this really go down this way? That's what's making me question everything right now.
Yeah, and so, ladies and gentlemen, after Bumpy and his guys decided not to sell the doogie. They go give it to Chin, further ingratiating themselves to Chin. And I think at that point in time, Moochie, that's when Chin was like, this dude is like my brother from another. Because they could have took the doji, sold it, Chin wouldn't have known nothing. But they gave it back to him. And
Mm-hmm.
all of that, Moochie, is why Chin loves this man. This
That's
man is
because Pedigree, you remember he's skating on thin ice already from last season. I think that's why he did that to show that he's like a changed person. Remember, he stole from Bumpy before.
yep. And Bumpy saved him.
Mm-hmm.
Bumpy saved him.
Do you think we're
And
gonna have another situation like that with him?
probably 100%. I mean, they already setting up a little bit of chaos between Pettigrew and Chance. They already setting that up anyway. They're already setting it up. And Moochie, I wish Pettigrew would go somewhere and get rid of that ugly ass perm he got in his head.
He
Man, that
got it
thing.
out, don't he? Got Oh, you told. Oh, Pedigree. Yeah, Chance.
Excuse me, Chance. I'm sorry, Chance. Yeah, Chance. Man, dude, come on, man. Get rid of that perm.
I
Dude
think
got
he
finger
getting ready to
waves, man.
switch. He said he got finger waves.
He got finger wave better than what my mama had in the 80s. Dude, cut that stuff. Oh, he got finger waves in his mustache. Come on, man. You could do better than
He
this.
said finger waves in his mustache.
Yeah, that stuff dripping all the way down. Bruh, come on, man. Help us out here. But long story short, Chin thinks that he's that in good with the people that is like Bumpy is his brother. And so he offers Bumpy, ladies and gentlemen, a deal of a lifetime. He tells Bumpy, look, we could do a 50-50. Bumpy says no. We can do a 60-40. Bumpy says no. And at that point in time, Moochie, I thought he was about to call him a nigga. That's what I thought. I thought he was. And then he gets angry and tells Bumpy that nobody does anything without the families taking a piece. Moochie, what do you see happening from this setup?
I hope he don't go back to the rest of the families and tell them what Bumpy's trying to do, and they try to backdoor him.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. And they are going, not only are they going to do that, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to try to create mayhem, riots. Take a look at this. I believe this picture is when Bumpy's about to buy the property and the white people is out here protesting that they don't want it. Or this could be when Bumpy got the property and they out here protesting, get these niggers out of our communities. And they are gonna make this as hard as they can for Bumpy to succeed. And Bumpy's got to watch out for two entities. As much as we talk about him and Chin, we cannot forget about this biscuit eating clown, Joe Colombo.
Yeah.
He wants Bumpy dead. And so the question here is going to be, Moochie, what is Bumpy going to be able to do to basically fight two of the bosses coming at him for war, and one of them is coming at his legit business? What is Bumpy going to be able to do with this?
He can't even get the politician to help because he's on the lam. So it's like I want to see how he does this, how this happens.
Your guess is probably about as good as mine. The only way I could see things working out for Bumpy is if things get a little too chaotic with Joe Colombo and they've got Bumpy and Chin have to team up again, or maybe Bumpy finds a new alliance with somebody else who's big in the game. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget this season we're going to see Frank Lucas pop up here working his little magic with folks, and that is going to be an interesting pairing where Frank Lucas get thrown up in the mix to create mischief and mayhem. And I can see Frank Lucas, before he gets to working with Bumpy, is probably going to be working with Joe Colombo doing random jobs to make some money.
So I'm gonna ask you this because Pedigree and Nat and Chance,
Yep.
one of them's gonna have to go because remember, Pedigree was the driver. So is Bumpy turns into his driver if they do it that way?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
Is one of
ladies
his
and
men
gentlemen,
dying? That's what I want to know.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Get out your notebooks. Right here, I'm telling you on this review, ladies and gentlemen, Pettigrew will die at the hands of Frank Lucas.
You think so?
Yep. Pettigrew will die at the hands of Frank Lucas. Book it, take it to the bank, mortgage the whole house, and you'll be owning 2 homes by the end of this season. Post your comments, let us know what you think. Any closing words, Moochie? How did you like the episode overall? What would you rate it?
I like the episode overall. I'll give it I want to say I give it like an 8. But it was like so many. You had this guest appearance with Whoopi.
Yep.
I want to know how often we gonna see her, because remember she's his accountant. And then we had the singing. I don't know who the lady was singing in the beginning, but that was nice the way she did that song at the whole club scene. I like the outfits and everything, and the way they're dressing. They are so connected with that period piece with the clothing, and I just like that. The trial kind of pissed me off. It got me emotional.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought it was a good starter.
Yep. I would agree. It was a good starter. It set up a lot of pieces. We saw what Stella's up to, what Joe is up to, what Chin is up to, what Bumpy is up to, what his daughter is up to. They gave us everything we need to know for a good setup in the season. And me and Moochie will be right back here next week giving you guys the review. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Get ready to jump on Moochie's channel as we break down the Power Season 4, Episode 7 trailer. We out.